Hello everyone. In this lecture we are going to discuss oxidation of oxidative cleavage of carbon-carbon double bond with special reference to ozonolysis reaction. Ozonolysis, this word is made up of two words, ozone plus lysis. In this ozonolysis reaction, first addition of ozone across carbon-carbon double bond or triple bond takes place, and after that lysis means cleavage of carbon-carbon bond takes place. This is the structure of ozone, O3. These three oxygens are linked to each other in this fashion. The central oxygen atom have the positive charge because it forms three bonds. One oxygen atom possesses negative charge, means excess of electron, and this oxygen is bivalent oxygen having lone pair of electrons. This is the resonating structure of ozone. Now see the mechanism of addition of ozone across carbon-carbon triple bond in which the ozonide is formed. See, this is our alkene molecule, carbon-carbon double bond containing compound, that is alkene, and this is ozone. In the first step, 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition reaction takes place. 1,3-dipolar means addition across the carbon-carbon double bond and ozone at 1 and 3 position, and the dipolar means two different poles, that is negative and positive different poles are formed. That is why it is 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition, where the cyclic product is obtained, which is called as a primary ozonide or malozonide. See this mechanism, it is a concerted step mechanism. These pi bonded electrons are open here and the bond is formed between carbon and oxygen. These pi bonded electrons are open on the oxygen because oxygen is deficient, so it gains its lone pair from this pi bonded electron. Now this carbon oxygen bond is formed. When this bond is moved here, the carbon is electron deficient, this carbon, and this carbon, that is carbonium ion, and this oxide ion, bond formation takes place. So this bond formation as well as this bond formation takes place simultaneously, and which two bonds are ruptured here? This carbon-carbon double bond, that is pi bond, and this pi bond, and we get this cyclic moiety 5-membered ring intermediate, which is called as a primary ozonide. This primary ozonide is unstable and it rearranges to give zwitterionic intermediate. This is called as a reverse 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition, where the bonds are break in this way. This bonded pair of electrons are shifted here, so carbon oxygen double bond formation. This bonded pair of electron is shifted here, so oxygen bears negative charge, and this bonded pair of electrons are shifted here, so carbon oxygen double bond formation takes place. This not bonded pair, lone pair, oxygen donates its lone pair, so oxygen carbon bond formation takes place, and as oxygen loses its lone pair, it possesses positive charge, and positively charged oxygen is called as a oxonium ion. So it is called as a zwitterionic intermediate. Zwitterionic intermediate means having negative and positive charge in the same moiety. And then again 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition takes place, where this ketone molecule and this zwitterionic moiety rearranges itself, addition takes place, which is called 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition to give ozonide. See, it is simple. This carbonyl group, in carbonyl group oxygen is more electronegative than carbon, so these pi bonded electrons are open on the oxygen, carbon bears positive charge, that is carbonium ion. So this carbon and this oxygen bond formation takes place, and this O negative and this C positive bond formation takes place. Of course, these pi bonded electrons are open on the oxygen, oxygen gain its lone pair, and carbon deficient and this oxide ion bond formation takes place. In this way 1, 2, 3, 4, this 5-membered ring intermediate is formed, and you can see here it is a ozonide. What is the sequence? Alkene first converted to primary ozonide, then reverse 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition where zwitterionic intermediate is formed, and then again 1,3-dipolar cycloaddition where we get ozonide. These are the applications of ozonolysis reaction. See, this is the carbon-carbon double bonded compound, that is alkene. On ozonolysis, ozonide is formed. Now, we discussed earlier the mechanism of ozonide formation. Now, without writing the mechanism, how to write the product, ozonide product of any carbon-carbon double bond compound. See, you have to remove this carbon-carbon double bond, remove both these bonds, attach one oxygen in between these two carbon and two oxygen in this way, we get the ozonide. It is just to remember, actually there is a mechanism how the 1,3 dipolar addition and reverse 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reverse reaction takes place. That is the mechanism. But in short, how to remember? You have to replace this pi bond and you have to put these 3 oxygen in this fashion. That is, we get ozonide. Now, after this formation of ozonide, the next step is lysis, that is cleavage of carbon-carbon bond. Now, it depends that carbon-carbon bond cleavage, that is oxidative carbon-carbon bond cleavage, and the product formation is depend upon the reagent used in the next step. If you use the hydrogen peroxide, then the product is different. If you use sodium sulfide, then product is different. And some cases we use the lithium aluminum hydride, in that case the product is different. Let us see in case of hydrogen peroxide what happens after ozonide formation. After ozonide formation, we know hydrogen peroxide is oxidizing agent. So here this oxygen-oxygen bond cleavage, as well as this carbon-oxygen bond cleavage, as well as this carbon-oxygen bond cleavage takes place. So what we get? This one moiety, that is CH3, C double bond O, that is acetone. This is another acetone moiety. So 2 molecules of acetone are obtained. The acetone is obtained, or ketone is obtained, or aldehyde is obtained. It depends upon the substituent to carbon-carbon double bond. If one hydrogen is there instead of alkyl group, here in this case, we will get the aldehyde. So see here, this is alkene. This carbon is attached to one alkyl group and one hydrogen. So here in this case, first ozonide is formed, as I told you, and then on reaction with hydrogen peroxide, what will happen? This oxygen-oxygen bond cleavage, this carbon-oxygen bond cleavage, this carbon-oxygen bond cleavage, this is the acetone, and this is acetaldehyde. So one acetone and one acetaldehyde is formed. Okay. Now this acetaldehyde on further oxidation get converted to acid. You know, the oxidative product of aldehyde is carboxylic acid. So first aldehyde is formed, and that aldehyde on further oxidation get converted into acid. Okay. Now what I want to convince you, what I want to tell you here, that same compound here we have taken, ozonide is formed. Now instead of hydrogen peroxide, here dimethyl sulfide is used. If dimethyl sulfide is used, then the one product is ketone, it is same as that of hydrogen peroxide, but another product is aldehyde. No further oxidation takes place. However, in hydrogen peroxide medium, we get acid. This is we have to remember here. When dimethyl sulfide is used, then this is ketone and this is aldehyde. No further oxidation. Now let us compare the mechanism of this oxidative cleavage and reductive cleavage. Oxidative cleavage in presence of hydrogen peroxide and reductive cleavage in presence of dimethyl sulfide, that we have to see in detail. See, this is ozonide, the mechanism of ozonide formation from alkene we have discussed earlier. Now its mechanism of second step, that is how the ring opening reaction takes place, and this ozonide is converted into corresponding ketone or ketone and carboxylic acid. Okay, see, this is ozonide. It is formed from the alkene and ozone. This is H2O2, that is hydroxide ion is there, acidic condition. Here this part is oxidized to ketone and this part is oxidized to acid. Okay. While in case of reductive mechanism, that is in presence of dimethyl sulfide, the mechanism is different. Now there is no OH negative ion, no proton, dimethyl sulfide, the sulfur itself acts as a nucleophilic source, and in that case there is no change here, the ketone is obtained, but here this part instead of converting to aldehyde, it converting to carboxylic acid, it converts to aldehyde, and this is the byproduct, that is dimethyl sulfoxide. Okay. Now let us have the look on some examples of this ozonolysis. This is alkene, carbon-carbon double bonded compound. First ozonide will form. How to write the ozonide? Remove this carbon-carbon double bond, write this one oxygen here, two oxygen here in this fashion, what I have told you earlier, and then on reaction with dimethyl sulfide, what will happen? The upper part will oxidize to acetone, and this part will also oxidize to ketone. So two molecules are ketone are obtained. Here it is C double bond O, that is cyclohexanone moiety substituted, and this is ketone, that is acetone. Okay. Now see this example. This is carbon-carbon double bond. Here dimethyl sulfide is there, reductive cleavage. This part will oxidize to acetone, and this part will oxidize to aldehyde, CH double bond O, C double bond OH, aldehyde. Okay, it is aldehyde and one is acetone. What happens if instead of dimethyl sulfide, if I use hydrogen peroxide? In that case, this aldehyde will further oxidize, this aldehyde functional group will further oxidize to corresponding carboxylic acid. That is the difference. See this example. This is carbon-carbon double bond, oxidative cleavage. This will oxidize to aldehyde, this part C double bond OH, and this CH2 group will oxidize to aldehyde, that is formaldehyde, because dimethyl sulfide is there. So we get two molecules of aldehyde. And what happens if you use hydrogen peroxide? Both these aldehyde will oxidize to corresponding acid. Here we will get COOH, here we will get the formic acid. Here it is carbon-carbon bond, oxidative cleavage. This part will oxidize to aldehyde, this carbon is also oxidized to aldehyde, aldehyde, aldehyde. What happens if you use hydrogen peroxide? Then this aldehyde will oxidize to acid, this aldehyde group will also oxidize to acid. See some more examples. This is cyclohexene. First ozonide will form. This is carbon-carbon double bond, oxidative cleavage. This part will oxidize to aldehyde. This part, this carbon will also oxidize to aldehyde. So in this way, ring opening reaction takes place and we get this aldehyde. Now being the dimethyl sulfide aldehyde is formed, what happens if we use hydrogen peroxide here? Here we will get COOH, that is carboxylic acid. Here also COOH, that is carboxylic acid. Here it is carbon-carbon double bond, ozonolysis, ozonide will form. This lower part, this will oxidize to acetone, and this part, this carbon will oxidize to aldehyde. This is aldehyde. This is remains as it is, this part. Only the reaction will take place here, so aldehyde. Okay, so one acetone and one this product is obtained. Here again same case, carbon-carbon double bond. This part will oxidize, this CH2 group will oxidize to aldehyde. We get this CH3 C double bond OH, that is aldehyde. This CH2, this CH will also oxidize to aldehyde. If dimethyl sulfide is there, then we get two molecules of aldehyde after oxidative cleavage. But hydrogen peroxide is there, so we will not get aldehyde. Instead of that, we get the acid. So one carboxylic acid, this carbon will oxidize to carboxylic acid, and this is another carboxylic acid. We get this one because hydrogen peroxide is there. Okay. See this one. Here carbon-carbon double bond, oxidative cleavage. This part will oxidize to ketone, that is acetone, and this carbon will oxidize to COOH. This is COOH because hydrogen peroxide is there. And if dimethyl sulfide is there, then we will get aldehyde. This carbon will oxidize to corresponding aldehyde instead of acid. That is the case. Yes. Now what I told you earlier that if lithium aluminum hydride is there, then what happens? You know the lithium aluminum hydride is a powerful reducing agent, and that's why in that case the alcohol will be the product. See, this is a carbon-carbon double bond, oxidative cleavage, higher ozonide formation. This carbon will oxidize to aldehyde. This carbon will also oxidize to aldehyde if dimethyl sulfide is there. If hydrogen peroxide H2O2 will be there, being H2O2 is there, then in that case this will oxidize to COOH, this will also oxidize to COOH. But as lithium aluminum hydride is there, that carbon will reduce to CH2OH. Actually it is a oxidation. In overall, if you see, as there is addition of oxygen, it is a oxidation, but it is a reductive oxidation, because that aldehyde group is not obtained. Instead of that, we get the alcoholic group. So here CH2H, and this carbon will also converted to CH2H after cleavage of this carbon-carbon bond. Same is the case here. Now let us see all three possibilities here. This is carbon-carbon bond, double bond. Ozonide will form first, then that ozonide will on reaction with hydrogen peroxide, this carbon will oxidize to COOH, this carbon will also oxidize to COOH, that is dicarboxylic acid. If dimethyl sulfide is there, dimethyl sulfide, then this carbon will oxidize to aldehyde, this carbon will also oxidize to aldehyde. But as there is a lithium aluminum hydride, both this carbon will oxidize after oxidative cleavage, reductive cleavage, sorry, both this carbon will oxidize to CH2OH, that is primary alcoholic group. Okay, so the second step is important, where different products are obtained with hydrogen peroxide, dimethyl sulfide and lithium aluminum hydride. Okay. Okay, now let us see the ozonolysis reaction of alkyne, that is carbon-carbon triple bonded compound. This is alkyne, carbon-carbon triple bonded compound. Its name is butane. It is a 2-butane. 4 carbons are there and triple bond is there, that's why it is a butane. On ozonolysis, followed by reaction with hydrogen peroxide, we get 2 molecules of acetic acid. Means this carbon-carbon triple bond cleavage, this part is oxidized to acid, so CH3COOH. This part, this carbon will also oxidize to COOH, that is CH3COOH. So 2 molecules of acetic acid are obtained. Interesting to see its mechanism. This is a butane and this is our ozone, O3. In the first step, there is a 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition reaction takes place. We have already discussed that 1,3 dipolar cycloaddition, where these pi bonded electrons are open on the oxygen, oxygen gain its lone pair. These pi bonded electrons are open on this carbon, so this bond is formed between oxygen and carbon, and this carbon is now deficient. Oxide ion is electron rich, so bond is. Now, what is the second step? Second step is reverse 1,3 dipolar addition, reverse 1,3 dipolar reaction, where this ring is open in this way. You can clearly see here that the ring is open in this way. This bonded pair of electrons are open here, this pi bond is shifted here. You see, as this pi bond is shifted here, so carbon oxygen double bond is there. As these pi bonded electrons are shifted, carbon is now deficient. This bond is open on the oxygen, so oxide ion formation. We get this. It is called as a deuterionic intermediate because 2 ions are there, opposite ion, positive, negative charge. Now next step is again cyclization, 1,3 dipolar cyclization, where this oxide ion attack on the carbonyl carbon from backside, and these pi bonded electrons are open on oxygen. Oxygen will have the negative charge, electron rich, carbon is deficient, so this bond is formed between carbon and oxygen. So 2 bonds are formed here, this oxygen carbon bond and this oxygen carbon bond. So here we get this 3-membered intermediate like epoxide, and this carbon oxygen bond formation takes place, and we get 5-membered ring intermediate, which is ozonide. Now this ozonide is unstable. This is the ozonide in case of carbon-carbon triple bond. In case of carbon-carbon double bond, this single bond is not there, everything is same, only this carbon-carbon single bond is not there. Now in the next step, this ozonide ring opens, where see this bonded pair of electrons are shifted here, these are shifted here. So when this is shifted here, carbon oxygen double bond formation, this is shifted here, so carbon oxygen double bond formation. So what we get? CH3 C single bond O, sorry, CH3 C double bond O, single bond C double bond O, single bond CH3. What is this? It is acetic anhydride. So ozonide is converted to anhydride. Now on acid hydrolysis, here cleavage takes place, where this part will oxidize to corresponding acid, that is CH3 C double bond O OH, as well as this part will also oxidize to CH3 C double bond O OH. In this way we get two molecules of acetic acid, in general carboxylic acid. In this way the butane, this carbon-carbon triple bonded compound, undergoes oxidative cleavage, where we get the carboxylic acid. This is the mechanism of addition of ozone across carbon-carbon triple bond. Okay, now see this one. This is naphthalene on ozonolysis. One benzene ring remains as it is, and another ring opens, and we get the phthalic acid. This is phenanthrene on ozonolysis get converted into dicarboxylic acid. These two phenyl rings remains as it is, and this ring cleavage takes place, and we get dicarboxylic acid. See this one. This example we have already discussed, that carbon-carbon bond cleavage, ozonide formation, and then reaction with hydrogen peroxide. This carbon will oxidize to COOH, this carbon oxidize to COOH. What happens if I use dimethyl sulfide? Aldehyde. What happens if I use lithium aluminum hydride? CH2OH, CH2OH. Here now interesting, here two carbon-carbon double bonds are there. Now ozonolysis takes place from which side? Because two different substituents are attached to carbon-carbon double bond. So here methoxy substituent is there, here methyl substituent. So see here on ozonolysis, the ozonide is formed from this side, not from this side. And after ozonide formation, then it is treated with, in the second step, it is treated with dimethyl sulfide, that is a reductive cleavage. And this carbon is oxidized to ester due to this methoxy, C double bond O, OCH3. And this carbon will oxidize to aldehyde because dimethyl sulfide is there. What happens if I use hydrogen peroxide? In that case, both the carbon will oxidize to COOH. Now, this is the application of reaction, further application, where it is treated with sodium borohydride. We know that the sodium borohydride is a mild reducing agent, which reduces the aldehyde group into primary alcohol, secondary ketone into secondary alcohol, and acid chloride into again primary alcohol. It is selective, it does not react with the ester functional group. However, lithium aluminum hydride reduces ester to primary alcohol, aldehyde to primary alcohol, and ketone to secondary alcohol, as it is a powerful reducing agent. Here mild reducing agent is used because in this particular reaction, the ester group have to be kept as it is. Only the requirement of the reaction is that the conversion of aldehyde to primary alcohol. That's why sodium borohydride is used. What happens if I use directly lithium aluminum hydride here instead of dimethyl sulfide? In that case, both the carbon will reduce to CH2OH. CH2OH, this is also CH2OH. But what we want? We want this CH2OH only. However, here we want ester. Therefore, it is not the sequence of the reaction is like this. Okay, first ozonolysis, then treatment with dimethyl sulfide, and then reaction with sodium borohydride. Now see this example. This is carbon-carbon double bond. This cleavage takes place. Obviously, this carbon will oxidize to ketone, and this carbon will also oxidize to ketone. After cleavage of this, here C double bond O will form, here also C double bond O. As it is a 1,2 diketone, it is further oxidized and the product is obtained where we get here COOH, that is carboxylic acid. Means this is oxidized completely to COOH group, that is carboxylic acid, and this carbon will oxidize to carbonyl group after oxidative cleavage, and we get this compound. This is all about the ozonolysis reaction.